and I did my job, and I always wanted him to do ministry. And I concluded on what ministry was supposed to look like. And I really just concluded that was his job. You do ministry, you go love the people, and I will be in charge of kind of being in the background, and I'll support you loving other people. And it was really funny because God was like, that's really sweet of you to want to do that, but you're not called to be in the background. And you're called to love just as much as he loves. And I just concluded it's just easier for him because it looks easy. But knowing the journey and knowing what he has gone through and what we've gone through together, love doesn't always feel easy, especially when you are critical of yourself. And I thought I didn't have love to give like he does. And I was comparing myself. And I did a lot of comparing. And that's where, as I was meeting new people, I was finding myself in others' journeys. And I was realizing how valuable they are and how valuable I am in them. And learning to love myself, learning to love them. And again, there's parts where it's just easier to believe God, believe the Father wants to love and bless somebody else, but we don't see it in our own journey. And sometimes we're not supposed to, because we need the body. We need someone else to say, hey, this is who you really are. Right. This is what I see in you. Man, you're carrying this. And even though sometimes it's really hard to receive, I think Jackie and I were talking about it. She came to me and she says, Shauna, when you just put your hand on me, right, there's so much love and comfort. Yeah. And I told her, I said, you have no idea. When we first started this, I didn't hug people. I didn't touch people. That's just uncomfortable. That's going in their space. But I don't know about you, but God bypasses your space sometimes. Right. He goes beyond your boundaries, right, what you've concluded on, and that's because that is love. You don't have to put your walls down. God's love puts the walls down. That's right. That's right. Love makes you bold. That's right. And you don't even have to get rid of your boxes. You can't get rid of some of your boxes. Right. God's love will break your box. Right. Yes. And so I wanted to share a little bit about that because when she brought that up, I had all these memories of me being very insecure, very self-aware of where I don't measure up. And when she said, when you put your hand on me, I was like, oh my God, I remember that first time where I kept seeing Jesus' hand on this lady who was sitting by herself. And I was like, I am not putting my hand on her. No, God, that's so uncomfortable. And I kept just seeing it. And finally, I just closed my eyes and I laid my hand on this woman. And then I'm like, okay, how long do I do this? I'm just so self-aware. I'm just so aware of how I'm not measuring up here in this. And what was so beautiful? Later on, that woman came to me and she said, oh my God, were you the one touching me? And I'm like, yes? Is that okay? And she said, I felt Jesus touching my back. Yes. And I was like, whoa, I saw Jesus touching your back. And I just did what I saw the Father doing. And it was so powerful, and it was really made me realize the importance of just a touch, just a smile, just a look of affirmation, just to say, I love you and I honor you. How many times do we hear, I love you and I honor you from people? We don't hear it enough. And we were made and created and born in love and affirmation and adoration. We want to receive and give of it, but sometimes we have to break through our own self-awareness of, is this right? Is this comfortable? Because it's not something you normally do. And I wanted to share that with everybody. There's been a lot of words of change coming. And one of the big things for me was when we launched out, and I remember I started meeting new people and I started finding these connections, and Shakeira was there. I'm like, there's something wrong with me. I can't find God in my time alone. And I said, what is wrong with me? Is it,
your quiet time was dead.
Yeah, it was dead. It was dry. I tried worship. I tried all these different things to muster up that same glory and presence that I had been consciously aware of. And Shakeira goes, what if there's nothing wrong with you? He's just emphasizing that you need the body. And it just, the self-awareness and the fact that there might be something wrong with me went out the door. And I was like, that is so true. I realized I can no longer go back to just the me and God.
Right.
Because I have now experienced love in somebody else that was beyond my own understanding and comparison. I can't go back to just me and God. Because there is something about experiencing love in people that goes beyond what we have ever experienced. Yeah. And I remember having this encounter where I was feeling this burning inside of me for people. Like, I just need to be connected. I just need to be with people. And we were kind of isolated in Mississippi. And I heard the Father say, open the scriptures. There's a little feedback, honey. And he says, go to, I can't even tell you what the scripture was because I had an encounter and it doesn't even matter. And I went to the scriptures and he says, go look at the life of Abraham. And I'm reading it, I think it was in Hebrews. And all of a sudden, I went to another time. And I was entering into where Abraham was. And when the Father said, and God said to him, look at the stars, speak to the stars. Speak to the sands and ask them. And all of these, I can't even tell you what the scripture was, but all of a sudden, I'm just weeping.
Whoa.
I am weeping, and I'm like, Brian, I don't even know what's going on. I'm weeping right now. I'm having this encounter. And he said to me, the Father was saying, Abraham, the father of faith, when he saw nothing in the natural realm, let's be honest, he didn't see what he thought he needed to see as the Father's faithfulness. What he did was he was pulling on you. And I could feel inside of me being where the Father of faith was pulling on me to keep himself going and to keep looking. And he goes, you have never been alone and you have never been separated.
That's it.
And so even though we feel alone sometimes, and I'm going to tell you, sometimes you can come into this love and this glory and this unity, and then you go back home and you feel like you're missing something and you're lacking something. There's nothing lacking in your life. There's nothing missing. The revelation that each of us are a habitation of his love and glory and unity. That's what everyone is carrying. And the fact that you're here right now means that you are now come to another level of conscious awareness that you are a habitation. So don't look on the outside to look for something to change. You are carrying that for others. You are carrying that. And things will change where, I know Brian said, people are going to start coming around more and more. And people are waking up to this reality of not being content with the way life has been.
Good.
And so don't sit there looking and saying, what's wrong with me, God? Because there's nothing wrong with you. You're not separated. You are so one and so connected. And that's actually what you're feeling, that drawing.
Right.
Kendra woke up feeling that love. I just need to be connected.
She didn't even see Brian calling her out on the video.
No.
Right.
She felt
I
it.
had no idea.
You woke up and you felt it, but we felt you, that you needed to be here. We need a piece of Kendra. You know, and everybody is here. I'm like, I'm so glad you came because I get to see another part of me, another part of God, another part of the Father I would not be able to encounter if you were not here.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, you don't even have to be at the mic to carry something special.
Right.
Yes,
amen.
Don't sit there and compare, well, I don't have enough, I'm not brave enough. I'm not strong enough to get up there and stand in front of that mic. Just you being here is enough.
You are enough.
Just you being here
Right.
has changed each other's lives.
Ooh, that's
We
good.
will never be the same.
That's right.
Never be the same.
Yeah.
And we weren't meant to be. Like I said, I don't want to have another meeting.
No, right?
I don't need it.
Right.
I need you.
Yes.
I need you. And even people on Facebook,
Yes.
you are here. People have talked about on Facebook how they've watched and they felt connected and all of a sudden they felt like they were there. Someone was talking about Jackie. I've never met her, never seen her before in my life, and I know her. And I said, yes, because we're waking up to the revelation that we are one. We are connected. We are not separated, no matter what it looks like to our natural eyes. We are waking up. And so when you feel like a part of you is missing, realize, reach out. That's your connection. You weren't meant to walk this life alone.
You're supposed to set up the...
Yes.
I was thinking about...
Whoa.
I was thinking about when they first came to my house, because Brian talked about it, and how we were talking about it this morning. I was isolated on purpose. I liked it that way. And Brian's going to come, we're going to do meetings, and I just happened to show up at the grocery store drunk in the spirit, and they're like, somebody goes, are you drunk? Like, because they were drinkers too. I'm like, actually I am. And they're like, are you having a meeting? Sure. When is it? Wednesday. We weren't having a meeting. But anyway, that was really cool. But then it just began to have, like, all these people were coming, and I would have these, like, come to Jesus moments with Shauna and Brian in the RV, like, I don't like any of these people. I know this is really revealing, because I was, just to be vulnerable, I felt very insecure about my ability to love other people. Mm-hmm. I felt like I don't have enough. And I'd get home from work after I just started a new job, and it was super stressful because it was new, and I get home and there's somebody laying in my bed. There's people cooking in my kitchen. Brian has rearranged my whole living room to make a meeting. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. He's like, yeah, ready for the meeting tonight? And also, I hadn't played my piano in years. And he's like, pull that thing out of the corner. You're going to play tonight. And I had never done it. And like, not like this. Yeah. I had done the 3 songs and a poem, for worship, which is no thank you. And so that was a new flow. But I guess what I wanted to give that background. And then as the end of those meetings, and then they were moving on to Minnesota, I'm in the same RV, in the same spot going, I love these people. Because I used to say, I wouldn't have coffee with any of them. I know that sounds awful. But I thought it was my problem. But in actuality, I had all the love I needed. What I needed was to be a receiver of love. That's right. I was actually afraid to receive the love. It wasn't so much that I didn't think I had enough. Yeah. And then recently I was in Mississippi with everybody, and I was seriously jet lagged and a little bit triggered by that, and Brian we were going to do a live video together, and I was not in a place that I felt like I had anything to give, and was really triggered, because sometimes we come into these meetings and we think, what good am I? Yeah. Why am I even here?
Why am I here?
What is community anyway? I remember Brian he asked one time, we were first talking about community. I said, you and your community crap. Yes, I did. I didn't understand it, because all I saw about covenant relationships and community, those were 4-letter words for me. Those were groups of manipulation. Those were groups that, forced you into a box and you couldn't be yourself. So I didn't understand what community is. But I have watched them over the last 3 years demonstrate community. When they came to my house and he said, Shaq, if all we have is you and your kids, we're happy. That's right. We're happy. And they meant it, and that's all we did. We just sat and we drank. But Mississippi, I'm kind of going all over the place here. But Mississippi, I'm there, and I'm feeling that lack again. And I kept having this vision of this newborn on a table. Yes. And the baby is like a couple of days old. And I'm staring at this baby on the table, and the Lord's showing me it so clear. And he says, what's the most valuable thing in this house? I know he's going to want me to say the baby, but I'm going to look around. I'm going to really look. It's a nice house, and there's lots of computer equipment and stuff. And I'm thinking, I said, well, of course, it's the baby. He says, why is it valuable? Why is it the most valuable thing? And he asked me that, like Jesus asked Peter, do you love me, all weekend? Why is that baby the most valuable thing? And the way my brain works, I was trying to figure out, like, a tax write-off, I know, it's ridiculous. But I was trying really hard. Like, it's the embodiment of love together, to husband and wife, trying to just think of all these, and none of the answers seem to stick. Yeah. It's the thing that holds the family together. That's what I left Mississippi with, thinking it was the glue, but nothing really felt right. And then a couple weeks down the road, the Lord it just hit me. The only thing a baby is good for is to receive. That's all it knows how to do. And that's what makes it the most valuable thing. And when we come with our walls down and we just receive love, that is how we become a fountain of love. So we don't love out of a place of of like trying, like I've got all this built up now, and I like it can't be measured. It's actually a fountain. And so as we receive, we give. As we receive, we give. And that's what makes, and we're all babies, 2-day-old babies on a table, you know, really with each other. That's all we are. We are opportunities to be loved.
Yes.
That's it. Our value comes from how well we are loved, how well we receive love. That is your value, is how well you receive love. And even that comes from a passivity almost, just an allowing, and that's just a journey that we walk in. And one thing, somebody has commented, a couple people commented about our friendships, and it's messy. Relationships are messy. They have these ups and downs, and we think perfect friendships start out in perfection, but they're messy, and babies are messy. They can't perform, but we've just learned to be good receivers of love, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny because I like that.
Yeah. Well, and Shauna's been really good at teaching you how to receive love. She's been really awesome with that.
I'm the baby.
I'm the baby. Gotta love me.
Yeah. That's so good. I don't know. I wanted to share a little bit with what I was experiencing. I don't know if you guys experienced your worship, man. I was telling her yesterday, I know that she plays people's songs, but yesterday I encountered a whole nother level of it because I'm a feeler, and I feel sometimes more than I see. And what I love was I was feeling as people were receiving different parts within themselves, because just this weekend we've gone through like 5,000 years of exchange.
That's true.
Okay, I am like something. I am changed. I'm literally changed, and I know you guys are all changed as well. And I'm watching as people are just like Brian was talking about flipping over. So as different things were flipping over within you in your mind and things were shifting, she would play a different sound. And I remember praying and just feeling, and I'm like looking at her, I'm like, whoa, I'm watching her play the different parts of other people. We don't have just one song.
Right.
We don't have just one sound.
Yeah, we're not meant to sing the same song.
That's right. Yeah.
We're not meant to sing the same song. And so with worship, I was telling, when I used to do worship, we'd all sing the same song, and my heart would break every time worship would start. I'm up there on the stage, and I look down, and everybody's just milling, and I love watching them mill around and talk. That's, to me, was my favorite part, and I would just warm up. But the minute I start to play, everybody would just stand straight ahead and stare at me. And they're like, this glass tube almost would come down, and they forgot about their neighbor. And it would be so sad, because then it would just be, it's like half of what God wanted to give in a worship time.
Yeah.
And so this sound, like when I play, when you guys are all milling, I'm hearing everybody's sound, and I'm playing it for everybody to hear. So you're all connecting with each other on a spiritual level, and there's a unity that comes out of that. And so then when we begin to sing, one thing I've noticed in this, would it be called a realm, I guess, is that everybody feels free to just sing and just be who they are. And that's where those walls come down.
Yeah.
And we sing to one another in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. And playing the soundtrack. It's a movie soundtrack.
And so when she was playing just this morning, and how different people were coming up, I literally felt so heavy, but not a sad heavy. Like my heart was filling up. I could actually feel the physical manifestation of full and filled. And I loved just receiving from every single person. Like I said, whether you said anything or not, I'm receiving from you.
Yeah.
That's why we're so powerful.
Yeah.
We don't have to say a word. We carry a sound and a frequency. And so I was sitting and looking at everyone, receiving, and I'm just getting so full I couldn't even stand. When Brian pulled me up, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this. And then Jackie prophesying, I'm just like trying to stand, and Heather sharing, and Brandy, and I'm just like, I'm going to freaking explode with love.
Right.
And so I wanted to say that because I know what it feels like to feel like what do I have to offer?
Right.
But I'm telling you, whether you say anything or not, you are carrying something for everyone.
That's right.
And it is powerful, and it is love, and like Jim said, it transcends everything because it is the universal language.
Right.
And you don't have to speak a word. It's more powerful sometimes when you don't.
And there was a time where I wasn't playing, but you were still hearing the song.
Yes.
Because that song is playing even when my piano's not on.
Yes.
Okay, I just helped your ears tune into it. That's it.
I still hear it, actually.
Yeah.
I'm so in tuned now, I can hear it even though there's no keyboard playing. I hear the sound.
That just takes the performance out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just a simple touch. You don't have to do anything. Just be. I used to get upset a little bit when Brian would say your thought life has no privacy rights. But our thought life, those things we think, those things we love, just the receiving, that all gives to the atmosphere in the room.
Whoa. Whoa. Did you bring me the oil?
No, I
I
didn't.
forgot.
Yeah.
That's
I
okay.
have oil.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Do you have some oil? I had a vision and I want to just fulfill it. Do you have oil?
Yeah, let's
Can you
do
bring
it.
some? Can you put some music on, baby?
Yeah.
Some background? Yes, you may go potty.
Hurry
Whoa.
up.
And if everyone could stand up, and if you don't mind me putting a little bit of oil on you, I just felt, because everybody is here, giving and receiving. I just felt like, whoa, thank you. Oh, let me smell it.
That is a very good oil. Consuming fire oil.
Wow. Whoa. I don't even need a mic.
Curly swirly.
Another version of me over there. Whoa. I'm just another version of Curly.
Let's be good receivers right now.
Yeah, just receive.
Fountains of receivers.
Yes. Just fountains of receivers.
Just stand right between right there. Join hands right there. We'll just keep this little gap right here. We're okay. You can, you got plenty. Receive that love. There's a heavy impartation right now of love pouring over you. Drink that in. Drink that in. It's beautiful. saturation. Holy saturation. Holy, holy. Drink it in that communion is beautiful. Drink it in that communion is beautiful. Grace and glory to walk the storm. Grace and glory to walk the storm. Grace and glory to walk the There's a sound right now in the frequency for physical health and healing as well. And I felt that for you. I felt physical health on you. I felt a whole new second wind of God, a second wind over your body, you still got a lot to do, a lot to say, a lot to give, a lot to receive. There's promises that have yet to be fulfilled in what the Father has shown you. And you're going to begin to see those things fulfilled in your children, in your grandchildren. I'm seeing a family reunion. I'm seeing that you're not left behind or forgotten as you raised your kids and everybody has grown up. I see that you're not forgotten. And I see this whole reunion coming around you, this time of celebration. Does that make sense? Yeah. I was seeing that all night on you. I kept hearing family reunion. Family reunion. Those that are at a distance that you've been longing to see, family reunion. And a lot more participation in that togetherness and a whole new chapter with your kids, with your grandkids. No? Oh, really? We haven't met. I'm Brian. Nice to meet you. See, I had no idea. Oh, that's good. Already happening. And are you Jackie's dad? No? Just friends? You guys know each other? Oh, wonderful. Oh, amen. Okay. Yeah, I was in the healing rooms in Washington. That's for you. Well, that is wonderful. We're glad you're here. Yeah. Yes, please. Great. Beautiful, beautiful. Just let the Spirit continue to minister to you guys. There's Harley. Just let that love flow.